Good, welcome you guys back to my channel, Nene Blobs. So today I'm making my May wrap-up and my June TBR for you guys. Basically, I only read 2 books in the month of May, so I decided not to make a whole video for the wrap-up. And instead make a video combining the wrap-up and the TBR. So the first book that I read in the month of May was Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, which is the 3rd book of the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I definitely give this 5 out of 5 stars. This series was one of my favorites. Ransom Riggs' style of writing is just amazing, and also just the plot of this story and just all the characters. I fell in love with all the characters, literally every single character, and how Ransom Riggs created new characters and it made them part of the story is so good. And also seeing the original characters grow in character and also just their personality, and just seeing them again is just such a magical experience and just so good. I loved this book. The 1st, 2nd and 3rd book was just so good. If you guys haven't heard about the series yet, which I doubt you guys haven't, it is about this boy Jacob who gets thrown into a world where there are peculiar children, and he goes on adventures with them and he has to figure things out, and it's just so good. And Ransom Riggs uses pictures, like old vintage pictures, to kind of create the stories and just add to the story. So it's just so good, and I love this world. Then the 2nd book that I read was my most anticipated read of this year, and it was A Court of Winston Ruined by Sarah J. Maas. So this is the concluding novel that is following these characters in the Court of Thorns and Roses type of saga. And I really enjoyed this book. This book was quite long, but it was super addictive. If you guys haven't heard about the story yet, go and read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Sarah J. Maas does end with some unclosed questions. Those questions will most likely be answered in the next few books that are coming. I really love Sarah J. Maas's style of writing. I'm not kidding, it's one of my favorite style of writing. I also just fall in love with the characters that she creates. And also in this book, so many new characters were brought into light and we could see more characters. And also we saw new personalities of many of these characters. And you fell in love with characters that you didn't think you would fall in love with. So I just thought this was just a really good book. In this book, your emotions go crazy. I think you guys can see all the notes I make. And you also just go through different adventures and romances and war and just character building. And it's just really good book. I really recommend you pick up the series and hopefully you fall in love with the characters like I did. If I haven't told you guys yet, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This whole series is a 5 out of 5 stars series. Literally just pick it up. It's just a really good series. Okay, so the next few books that I'm going to talk about is the books that I'm planning to read in the month of June. Exams are starting, so I might not get to all of the books I'm planning to read, but these are the books that I want to. So the first book is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I started this last month and I really fell in love with Charles Dickens' style of writing and just the wording and everything. The only problem was I started it at the worst time. I started it and then tests started to happen and crazy things happened in my life, so then I decided to put this classic down. But this month I hope to go on reading about it because it's set in the French Revolution time, and also just the style of writing is so pretty. So after putting that classic down, I picked up Passenger by Alexandra Bracken and I finished it this month. So this story follows 2 characters. The first being Nicholas, who is in the year 1776 and is a pirate. Then the second character is Henrietta, who we call Etta, and she's an upcoming violinist who gets caught up in this world of time travel. And this book is just her trying to figure out what's happening. Really, she doesn't know anything about time travel, and now she gets brought into this world without any warning. So yes, it was really good. I'll tell you more about my feelings about this book in my June wrap-up. Then another book that I'm planning to read is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So this is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles, and this book is a retelling of Cinderella. It takes place in a futuristic world, and that's about it. I don't know the rest. I love retellings, and I've been wanting to pick this up for a long time, so hopefully this is the month for it. So then, if I have time, I also want to pick up a few contemporary books that are kind of short or fast reads. The first one isn't that short, but it is Black Dove, White Raven by Elizabeth Wayne. So this story follows two characters who, I think their mothers used to do tricks on airplanes, and their mothers were like best friends, so they became really good friends. And then one day a bird strikes the airplane and one of the mothers die. So this just follows the characters, and they are in Ethiopia as far as I know. And yeah, that's all I know about this book. So I've heard a lot about this author. I know she wrote those historical fiction books. I haven't read them yet, but everyone says they love those books a lot. So I really want to start reading more of her books and see how I like her writing style. So if I have time, I still have to decide between these two, but it's either The Girl in the Blue Coat, which is a historical fiction about a girl who is sent to find a missing Jewish girl. So it sounds really interesting. And then, or I want to pick up The Lost Garden by Kate Kerrigan. I think this book is about a girl who goes on holiday and then she falls in love with this guy. And I think the guy gets into an accident, and then she kind of finds herself more in a garden. I don't know really a lot about this book. That's what I kind of get from the synopsis. This book does sound kind of good, like falling in love and romance and also finding yourself. Hopefully I get to this and see how I like it. Okay, so those are the books that I read in the month of May and the books that I'm planning to read in the month of June. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I try making videos once a week. And also comment down below if you've read any of these books and tell me which books you're planning to read this month. Okay, see you guys next time. Blob!